All right, so this is week 1. I'm going to be sharing with you everything that I made. So a ton of it is just soups. I really wanted to make some soups this week. I thought it'd be super like fall, and even though the weather is not fall, for here, we live in Oklahoma and it is like 100 degrees. Today that I'm shooting this, it's right at 100. But I see the fall in our future. Our 10-day forecast is like 80s and 70s. So I'm very, very excited, even though that's not technically fall. I consider fall like 50s and 60s. But I can see some hope of it not being so hot out. I really don't like the heat. I'm not a big fan of summer. I absolutely love fall. My birthday is in fall, so maybe that's why I love fall so much. But I love the brisk weather. That's like my favorite type of weather. Like fall and winter. Oh, so beautiful. Love it. So I am going to be sharing with you everything that I made. A lot of it was soups. We had a lot of leftovers from even the prior week. So I really didn't do a whole lot of cooking, which is great. That means that I saved a bunch of money this week by not like cooking and doing all the things and just kind of working through our freezer. I did do quite a bit of like freezer meals for my family, like for my kids. We did have Labor Day this weekend while I was shooting. So, we were out of town. So there's really only going to be about 5 different meals that you'll see, or like 5 different days that you'll see me cooking and me like doing leftovers and all the things, just because we were out of town. So I obviously couldn't shoot. And even if I did shoot while we're there, like it just wouldn't be the same because, it's not my food. It just wouldn't make sense. So that's why I just decided to just do a straightforward, just like 5 days of me showing you everything that I made for that week. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. Let's get started. Okay, first meal of the week, we're just having some roast potatoes, and then I made some mac and cheese, and I had some like leftover peas, so that's what I'm having for our lunch today. So we're gonna get started on some broccoli and cheddar soup. So you guys can use butter or you could use some bacon grease. I have tons, so I'm just gonna use about 1/4 cup of bacon grease. I would say that's about good. Okay. And then I am just going to mix in my veggies. All right, so I have about 1/2 cup of onions and then 1 cup of carrots. Okay, and I'm just going to let these cook for about 5 minutes. I just want them to get a little bit more soft. There's that. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and add in about 4 cups of broccoli. And this is just frozen broccoli that I have been thawing out since this morning. Okay, so I'm going to give that a good whirl. All right, I'm going to slowly add in some broth. Okay. So that was 1.5 cups of chicken broth, and then I have 1 cup of milk. Gonna give this another good stir. And then I have 1 cup of heavy whipping cream that we're going to be adding. I always like to get every little bit out because heavy whipping cream is really thick. So I'm going to get all that out. Give this a good stir. Okay, so I'm going to sprinkle in 1/4 cup of flour, just a little bit at a time. Get that mixed together. We're just going to thicken this up a bit. Okay, go ahead and put the lid on. I'm going to let this cook for about 10 minutes. Okay, so it's been cooking for about 10 minutes. I just recently stirred it.
I also cut up some of the broccoli just so they weren't like super big chunks, even though I still kind of see a little bit of big chunks, but you guys can do whatever you want if you like bigger chunks or not, but my kids are not gonna like bigger chunks. I'm gonna also add in 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and then also half a teaspoon of black pepper. Give this a stir. I'm also gonna give just a little bit of some paprika, maybe 1/4 teaspoon. Give that a stir. And just a tiny bit of pepper flakes, just to kind of give it a kick, but not too bad that my kids won't be able to eat it. Giving this a good stir. I'm gonna put in 2 cups of cheddar cheese, but I have had this in my freezer for quite a while, so I'm just gonna throw this in here. It should be fine. It got all crumbly because it's been in the freezer for so long, so yeah, we'll see what we can do here. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and toss in all this cheddar cheese. Yeah, it kind of just got all crumbly since it's been in my freezer for so long, but it'll be fine. Give this a good stir, let all that cheese melt. I have another package just in case this is not enough cheese. We just don't use sliced cheese as much anymore. My husband used to with his sandwiches, but he doesn't really eat a lot of sandwiches anymore, so yeah. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Nice and cheesy. I'm gonna give it a taste test, see if we need any more cheese or not. Okay, here is our dinner tonight. Oh my goodness, you guys. It is so stinking good. A little bit, like a little hint of spiciness, but oh, so delicious. Just the right amount of cheesiness. Tastes just like Panera's. So creamy and so delicious. Okay, here's today's lunch. So we're just having leftovers. So one kid's having tuna sandwich. One kid is having French onion burgers. And then we have some like leftover macaroni and cheese from yesterday's lunch. So that's what our lunch is going to consist of today. Tonight's dinner, I just decided to do some leftovers again because we have tons of food in our fridge. I just had the roast that we had yesterday. And then she's got some like cheesy rice and corn. These two, they have just some fajitas that we had last week. And then they're having some rice on the side. And then I made my husband a chicken pot pie that was in the freezer. So I wanted to get that out of the freezer. And then he is just having some cheesy rice. Okay, here is my breakfast for the day. Just some eggs and bacon. And then the kids are having some bagels that we have in our pantry with some eggs. And then that's what she's having. And then he is having some muffins. That's the last of the muffins. So yeah, we're eating some stuff out of our fridge and pantry this morning. Here are the ingredients I'm going to use for tonight's meal. We're going to be making some Zuppa Toscana in the Instant Pot. That's just kind of how I like to make it, is in the Instant Pot. That way it doesn't take super long. So over here we have just a little bit of flour. I have 2 tablespoons of flour. For seasonings, we're going to need some salt, pepper, and just like a little bit of chili flakes. You guys can do fresh or you can do frozen. It really doesn't matter. I always kind of tend just to buy like the frozen bags of kale or spinach for like meals like this. I think I have like about 1/4 cup left, which is going to be perfect. It's already wilted down, so I think it's going to be the perfect amount. And then we're going to need some bacon. I'm going to do about 6 slices of bacon. I'm going to need some heavy whipping cream. I believe I need about 1 cup of that. And then I'm going to need this whole thing of chicken broth. We need about 32 ounces or 4 cups. I'm going to need some garlic for tonight's meal. I'm completely out, so I'm going to open up this big old thing today. Of course, we're going to need some sausage. Yeah, I just grabbed some mild sausage, and then for potatoes, I'm going to do about 6 of these red baby potatoes. For the most part, I'm not going to peel them. I'm just going to cut them up and put them in just kind of like this. I don't know. I just kind of like, for red potatoes, I like the skins on them, so that's why I'm doing it this way. So let's get started on tonight's meal. Okay, so I'm just going to put a very little bit of oil at the bottom of my pan here. I just don't want it to stick to the very bottom. I have put this on the saute function. And now we're going to go ahead and add in our sausage. I'm just going to make sure this is coated properly. There we go. Okay, go ahead and add this to the bottom. And we're just going to cook this like normal. Okay, now I'm going to add in some garlic. And when I say some, I mean a lot. We're going to add in quite a bit of garlic. Okay, I'm going to toss that around. Alright, now I'm going to add in our whole container of chicken broth. I'm going to take this off of the saute function. Okay, there we go. And then I'm also going to add in my 6 potatoes. Ugh, I lost some. Okay, and I just want to make sure that my potatoes are submerged in the liquids. That looks really good. I'm also going to add in just like a little bit of salt because we're adding chicken broth. And our chicken broth is already pretty salty, but I am going to add quite a bit of pepper. Okay. And then just a little bit of chili flakes just to give it a little bit of a zang. That's good. Okay, put the lid on. And then I am going to pressure cook this on high for 5 minutes. Okay, so it has been cooking for 5 minutes and it's done a quick release for about 12 minutes because I got sidetracked. But we are going to check this. This looks amazing, y'all. Amazing. Yep, potatoes are nice and tender. I'm going to take our 1 cup of heavy whipping cream and then I'm going to put in our 2 tablespoons of flour in here and just stir it together. Just like so. I should have used a bigger measuring cup, but we'll make this work. Okay, and then I'm just going to pour it in here. Give this a good little mixaroo. Okay, I'm also going to put in all of our kale that's in this bag. So I would say it's between probably about 1/3 cup. It might be between 1/4 cup and 1/3 cup. And I'm going to stir this together. Okay, I'm just going to put the lid on for a couple more minutes and the flour should thicken up. And then we'll have dinner ready. Okay, so I have let this cook for probably about 7 more minutes. I let it thicken up. It is a lot more thicker. And now I'm just going to go ahead and add in our bacon. And we are ready to devour this yummy, delicious meal. All right, here is our dinner tonight. Look at this, guys. This looks so stinking good. Absolutely delicious. What do you think? Good? Yep, we paired it with some bread tonight. Super, super good. Do you like it? Today's lunch, we're just having some leftovers. So we still have some Southwest chili. We still have some French onion burgers. So that's what little man is having over here. Is that yummy? Bubba? Is it yummy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she's having Southwest chili and then French onion burgers. And we still have like some...
I ate it all.
Yeah.
Yum, yum.
And then we still have some broccoli and cheddar soup. And then we have some like lasagna soup that I had made. And I think that's it. So we're eating that for lunches. We're just kind of eating the leftovers. Whenever we have lunches, it's usually leftovers or sandwiches, stuff like that. So nothing too crazy. Just something super simple for lunches. And then tonight, I believe I'm making another soup. So that's the plan for today. So see you tonight. Okay, here are the things that we're going to need for today's meal. Let me start kind of like over here. So I'm going to need some chicken. You can do this meal two different ways. You can put it in the crock pot. You can kind of just dump and go in the soup pan like I'm getting ready to do. So I have some rotisserie chicken because I wanted to make that easier for the coming weeks. Just to have some rotisserie chicken is really, really awesome. You can do so many meals with it, and I just love rotisserie chicken. So I'm going to do about a cup of rotisserie chicken and put the rest in a baggie and put it in the fridge. I'm going to need this whole thing of chicken broth. And then I'm going to need some half and half. I think about 3/4 of a cup. I'm going to need some seasonings. I have salt. I'm going to use some pepper. It's not over here yet. I'm going to use salt, pepper, some basil, some parsley, and oregano. I need some minced garlic. And then I'm going to need some rotini noodles. And then I do not have Parmesan cheese, so you can use mozzarella, but I plan on using. Also, you can use some fresh spinach. About a cup is going to be about perfect for today's meal. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is add in our whole container of chicken broth to our soup pan. The next thing I'm going to do is add in our seasonings. I need a teaspoon of parsley, half a teaspoon of basil, 3/4 a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of oregano, about half a tablespoon of minced garlic, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 3/4 a cup of half and half, or you guys can do heavy whipping cream or just a regular milk is fine too. 2 cups of pasta. And then here's 1 cup of chicken. I decided to go ahead and do 2 cups of chicken. And then also 1 cup of water. Okay, I'm just going to stir this around. Since this is this is a recipe, but I kind of improvised it a little bit and not doing it in the slow cooker. And there it says to use chicken breast, so I might have to add in some more heavy whipping cream or something like that to kind of give it a little bit more liquid. So I'm just going to put this on a medium-high and let this cook. Let the pasta get all cooked through al dente, and this should take about 20 minutes to cook. Okay, so it's been maybe 15 to 20 minutes now. My noodles are done cooking through. I'm going to go ahead and thicken this up just a bit. I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of some xanthan gum. It's kind of like cornstarch, but it's a lot more strong. Very powerful stuff. So I'm just wanting this a little bit thicker. I'm going to give this just a little bit of a whirl. Let that thicken up, and I might need to add more, but I'm just going to add just a little bit at a time because it's some powerful stuff. All right, I'm going to add another 1/4 teaspoon. Give this another good stir, and that should be plenty. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in some cheese once I feel like this is really stirred through really, really beautifully. I'm going to go ahead and add in the rest of the mozzarella that I have in this bag. And then I'm probably going to add a good 1/2 cup as well. That way I have probably a whole cup of mozzarella, and then I'm just going to stir this in and let that cheese melt in our soup. And it'll also help thicken up the soup just a bit, and then we'll be ready to eat. All right, and here is what our soup looks like. I think this would definitely look better with some spinach.
And maybe instead of using the water towards the end, just putting in some more half and half or heavy whipping cream. But still, overall, this looks so yummy. Add in my apples. And of course, I'm going to add in tons of cinnamon. Give this a nice cinnamon flavor. I know some people add brown sugar to their apple as well, but I'm just going to leave it at the natural sweetener that it has right now. I'm going to go ahead and get started on my oatmeal. I want a half a cup of old-fashioned oats and then half a cup of the quick oats. And then I'm going to do 1 cup of water and 1 cup of milk. We're going to add in quite a bit of cinnamon. Going to give it some of this blue agave to give it some natural sweetener. Give it a good stir. Okay, I'm going to say that this is good to go. Look at that. They look nice and soft. I'm going to go ahead and just dump them. Sauce, butter, cinnamon sauce, and all. And there we go. We have some apple cinnamon oatmeal. Mama's favorite type of oatmeal. So good. Okay guys, this is what we're having for lunch today. We are going to just eat real fast and then we're going to head out to Kansas. We're just going there for the weekend since it's Labor Day weekend. So I just wanted something easy and fast, and that, you know, that way we're not like grabbing something on the way. We're kind of saving some money and yet using stuff that's in our freezer. So I wanted to go ahead and get rid of all this. So yeah, we just have some corn dogs, some chicken nuggets, and some french fries that we're going to have for lunch before we leave today.
Thanks so much for watching this video. Hope that you guys like me kind of going through all the things that I have in my house, sharing with you what I have, making meals out of the things that I already have, you know, just eating up leftovers. You guys, you have to eat your leftovers or you're just wasting food. And if it's one thing that this frugal mama does not do, she does not waste food. It's like nails on a chalkboard for me, so I don't want to do it. So anyways, I hope that you guys like this video. If you guys like this type of content, leave me a comment below. Let me know what it is that you like. That way I can make more content for you based off of that. Hope that you guys like it. Give me a big thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.